Hey guys, welcome back to the Dion channel. This is actually a video about top things a gatherer should know. This is actually corresponding to another video that I'm going to make, which is entering or stepping into the shoes of a free-to-player with actually zero premium without the 3-day premium. So that's actually going to be posted on the description below. I actually made a video about this, about what I'm talking about right now, but it only took about 44 minutes. So let's actually get started, and hopefully I can down this to 20 minutes or 25 minutes in jamming all these information. So let's start with the first one. You can gather a tier higher corresponding on the tool using. So T2 can gather T3 and lower, and T4 can gather T5 and lower. If you gather T2 gathering on a T3, it will be much slower speed. On the gathering on T2 versus T2 will be a normal speed, and anything below that is actually faster. Same goes for T5. If you gathered on a tool on the T5, it will be normal speed. If that tool is being used for a T6 resource, which is one higher, it will be slower, and anything below that will be faster and faster and faster. Gathering bonus. Gathering bonus gives more fame, and gathering set gives gathering bonus through yield bonus effect. So I actually gonna open up the picture right here and show you that this is the yield bonus. And actually, let me go down here as well and show you a picture. Get this actually, make sure this is working. Let me show you a picture right here, and as you see, these gathering bonus are coming from the gathering set or pork pie, which gives you a 50% gathering year bonus. So there it is, 2 for this one, 3 for this one, and 1 for this one. Sometimes even 2 if it's high enough, and that will give even more fame when it procs. Next question. Next statement, sorry. Everything has its own gathering yield per resources. And let me show you a picture about that. It's actually the same picture, which it shows in here. A T3 is actually 9 out of 9. A T4 is 6 out of 6. A T5 is 5 out of 5. A T5 is 5 out of 5. A T6 is 6 out of 6, and T7 is like between 20 out of 25. The T3 can be gathered in per section of 3. So it'll be 9, 6, 3, 0. T4 will be on 2. So basically 6, 4, 2, 0. And then T5 will be by 1. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then 0. And T6 will be the same thing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And then the T7 will be between 20 to 25, which is all the way from there at 1 section per each. So 20, 19, 18, 17, and going lower. Let's actually jump into this real quicker. 3. Everything has its own oh, I think I read that already. Sorry. 4. Resources can be enchanted. The color representing each enchanted. Green will be 0.1, blue will be 0.2, purple will be 0.3. Each enchanted has higher yield fame, which means 0.1 has a good fame, 0.2 will be higher than 0.1, and 0.3 will be higher than 0.2. Rock and stone does not have enchanted nodes. 5. Some map has higher area for enchanting. I should show a picture. So as you see, actually I have a picture, or I can just go here. I actually do have a picture, but I'll just go here in a sec. So as you see right here, going to slow tree, there is 33%, and you just jump down to Lazy Grass has 90%, and it's close to town, and that's the reason why many people are out here. And then if you go to like through a blue zone down here, it's like 8%. And basically, if you actually farming on these zones, 33%, you farming more enchanted nodes that will give more fame bonus, which allow you to increase your gathering level much faster. So let's see what I said here. Back to 5. Map may have 8, 19, 32%. This allows you to get more fame, basically. To harvest an enchanted node, you have to use the tier of the corresponding node. Example, T4 can harvest 4.1, 4.2, 4.3. T5 tool can harvest 5.1, 4.2, 4.3. Even though T4 can harvest flat T5, they cannot harvest 5.1, 4.2, 4.3. So it has to be the same tier for the enchanted. 7. Specs on gathering destiny board increases the speed and yield. If I go back here, which I also do have a picture, but I'm gonna go right here and I click on the right side, I know that I am max 100 or 100. That means I am 50% gathering yield already on this without having a gathering set or eating a purpide, and I have my gathering speed modified by 50 for this for a hides. So it doesn't matter if I'm actually using a T5 tool or if I use a T8 tools, and I already have 50% on gathering speed, which I'm much faster than anybody else, and pretty much whoever's not 100, I'm much anybody else in this game. Let's see. If you use gathering as a main resource, which I recommend actually random dungeons, or if you have an 80% win rate, Hellgate, you will want to use all your learning points on it. You will get 10 learning points every day when you finish the adventure challenge, if you're free to play, or 20 learning passively every day if you have premium. Note, once you have premium, you cannot get the free learning points. This is actually true. I had to write all this shit. God damn. Just so I can make everything much faster. So right here I am 787. So if I wanted to, for example, I want to go from here to here, I would have to get this at for the 20%, which you can do the math, and then I'll spend 234 out of 787. So you should use all your learning point for this, not for a combat, but for this if it's going to be the main resources for money. So let me go back here again. 9. Resources are found in abundance by the corresponding city. Every resource has a main city. So what that means is basically that I'm getting hit. Okay. Hide, you'll find it in abundance in Britwatch. And you can see it like this. Britwatch has the highest for this one, second best for this one, and third best for ores. Murloc has stones, so they're the best for stone. So once you go like down here, you'll find best for stone, best for wood, and I think then ore. Therefore, it will be fiber. Fiber will be the best for it. All these areas have fiber. And then I think it would be wood and then hide. Ore will be 4 sterling. So if you want to farm ores in abundance, you'll be here. Second will be stone, and third will be fiber. And wood will be in Lyndhurst area, which will be wood, stone, and then hide. Now, by the way, another things that you will find in the corresponding cities are monsters. Obviously, Hyde, it has its own monsters on the bridge price. It's the only way to actually farm it. However, Murloc will have stone golems that you can kill them resource. I think this one has also a fiber. No, not think. I know. I know that this one has fiber. I just don't know the name. This one has an ore golem, and this one has like a oak tree or something like that, which basically you can kill it and get resources. 10. Some resources are exclusive to specific zone and may not be found except during those specific zone. So basically what this means is that if you are looking for example, T3, you may be able to find T3 in here as it shows it, and in blue zone. If you go to the red zone, you can also find it, and if you go to black zone, you can also find it. However, let's say you want to find tier 6. T5, you can only go for yellow zone and red zone. But when you want like T6 area, you have to go much higher, such as a T7 zone or a T6 zone, and most of these zones are in red zone, which are PvP full loot. You will not find one tier 6 resource in the yellow or in the blue, obviously because it doesn't get up to that high. All yellow zone in here are tier 5 zones. Same thing go for T7. I don't think, even though it shows a T7 zone such as this one, Shadow Expanse, you will not find T7 resources. T7 and T8 will be found in black zones, and majorly, let's see if I am correct. We have a new zone up here, so I think before it was a little bit harder to find some of the T7 in this area. Let's see. Actually, you can find T8, but T7 and T8 will be found in the black zone majorly, not in the red zone. or in yellow zone. Yellow zone, sorry, black zone can have also some areas such as this. They can go T3's black zone. They can go from 4 to 6 in one area, and sometimes I think if you go like T6 here, you can also find some T8 resources on T6's black zones. This is the reason why most players go to black zone, but you will find a bunch of gankers, Zerg, and all that stuff. The map has been increased so that way players are being split because of the new free to play, so you can actually try your luck if you want to go out there. Bag has no cluster reduction. You can wear max 8.3 bag in the blue zone and have the full benefit of it. So I think I have like 2 pictures in here that I need to take off real quickly. Boom, boom. If you go to I and you go to weapon and stuff like that, there are cluster reductions which lowers your gear for balance's purpose on the newbie zone, such as yellow zone and blue zone. Red and black zone doesn't have these cluster reduction. However, bags are the type that doesn't get affected by this, so you can actually wear a 8.3 or a tier 8 one and have 369 kilogram of weight, which allows you to gather more if you're wearing a horse, or even way more if you're wearing an ox. Blue zone and yellow zone has cluster reduction, which I just showed it. This allows you to defend yourself against higher set balance zone players, or and red and black has 0 cluster reduction. You will be at a disadvantage if they have higher spec or higher gear. So what this basically means is that if I were to fight someone will probably call me a newbie because I am 540 cluster reduction, and I'll show you an example right here. At a 40 cluster reduction, I could just go right ahead and heal for this area, which is will be 23 on my Q, and will be 602 on my E, which is spiritual seed and rejuvenation for a Q. If I go to the city, my cluster reduction is I could say deleted or removed, and this means that I'm back to 1,476 on item power, and I can now heal for 30 on my Q. And if I use my spiritual seed, I can heal for 800. So basically, the yellow zone and blue zone are they have these cluster reductions so that you, like if there's an 8.3 or a tier 8 or a 7.2, it's balanced, so you have a chance to actually beat them, and then you don't have these top tier old player veterans kicking your ass 24/7. You have a chance to just fight back. This is the reason why sometimes the newbie players, I think that like they're really good when they beat the higher players in the yellow zone and the blue zone, because they think that there's no cluster reduction or anything like that. They don't even know about that. Blue zone, basically you have to be faction flag, and that's the reason why it has cluster reduction in the blue zone, because of faction flag, which is full of PvP. Let's go for the second one. Don't even know what timer it is on this video right now. Gathering gear are at a disadvantage versus PvP gear. If you see video of gatherers running, is because majority of them know they may not stand a chance. Many are scared, but gathering gear is disadvantage to PvP gear. So an example of this is if I go over here to the one of my videos, one of my threads, which is called the feedback on the gathering, which I made a feedback where it says either give a gatherer the same ability bonus as a normal tier, which basically they have like 40% increased ability damage, or basically just make it as a second tab. They have no abilities whatsoever except the ability to give you your bonus, and you put it as a second tab, and when you die you lose your main gear and your gathering gear. Now the reason why I said this is because most of gathering PvP or gankers and stuff like that is between a PvP players with full PvP gear fighting a gatherer who has no chance in pretty much be able to fight back. Majority of the time that you ever see a gatherer fight back versus a PvP gear is two things: either they are gatherers or they are pro players killing newbie players. That doesn't stand a chance. But if a pro player fights a pro player, like a gatherer fight a pro player PvP gear like Oak Tree and stuff like that, they're gonna get their ass whooped, no doubt about it. So you may see videos, for example, such as this, which I put it right here, and it starts at 9. You may see them once they start fighting, each one of them starts running and they never fight back. You go to 233 over here, and again you'll find players just pretty much running and running and running away. You can find this thread in the forum if you look for your feedback on changes on gathering gear plus arena. And at the same time, you'll see players saying that we have fought back. Yep, gotta turn that off. For example, my boy Megas has fought back, but as you see, if you look very closely, it's usually a gatherer versus a gatherer. So it's not a like, oh, I can fight some people who are ganking me. Well, yes, you can if it's a gatherer versus gatherer, because gatherer versus gatherer is actually fair fight. But a gatherer versus a PvP gear is not a fair fight. There, we also have other players such as this one right here. Where if you look at the first one is 0.41. I'm just gonna do one so you can see. Being shown that they fight another gatherer, and sometimes it can be 2 versus 1 and stuff like that. And you may have higher spec, like your weapon be 4 out of 400, and these people may not be at 400 or 400, which actually gives you an advantage if it is a gatherer versus gatherer. But if the person has a PvP versus gathering gear, then you are at a disadvantage. So let's just go right here. My god, this is going to be an hour video, I swear. I know it's going to be an hour here. So you already saw my heals with what, 30 on my Q and 800 on my E. So let me actually go back here to the city, because I'm gonna be much lower than here, much lower. Which is, if you fight, see, if you are gathering here and you're fighting a PvP gear in the yellow zone, which is cluster reduction, it'll be even worse. So you already know there's 30 and 800 in here. So I'm just gonna go right ahead and equip the shoes, the chest, and the helmet. I'm gonna wait for the heals down here at Q and E, and watch as when I start healing, instead of 30, what's going on? Cooldown? Great. I think the server is about to, yeah, the server is bitching right now. The 4th day of the server, 19 instead of 30. So now I'm at 19 instead of 30 on my first stack. See? Instead of 30. And let's check the E. 511 out of 800. So somebody who is in gathering gear think they can actually be another player just because they have healer. Like majority of the time, you'll find like these greater natures with Thorn and stuff like that. Well, a person who has a PvP gear will survive better with fighting as a Thorn. But if you're a gatherer, you're gonna get your ass whooped. So again, I'm gonna put all my gear back. And as you already saw, I am much leaner. Actually take this away. I am much less in the capability of fighting, and the reason that is, if we go into the inventory, is that as you see down here, if I take this away, this specific gear has a 45% ability bonus and stuff like that, and in healing cast with 45%. And if I go to aggression, which increases by 8%, now I'm at 53%. So I'm dealing for a 53%. My helmet doesn't have anything. However, if I have actually, let me look. This one is perfect. This one has balance, and that will give me like what, 1.5% of power. But if you have like a cloth, I think it will be like 3% if you wear a normal cloth helm. And cloth shoes also has aggression, which is 3.5% heal and damage. So as a gatherer, I'm in disadvantage to a PvP player, and obviously I should be able to run away. Now if another gatherer fights me, then I'm gonna fight back, because it's actually a fair fight. Gathering gear can be a trap in the red and black zone. If you use gathering ability that interacts with a player, you are in combat for 20 seconds and cannot zone. During that time, duration time, Sorry, during that duration time. In Black Zone, you get Outlaw for 2 minutes and cannot use the portal. Also combat for 20 seconds. So I actually went ahead and I put up a video over here because this is the best way to actually show it. If you're in a Black Zone and you're trying to defend yourself, I'm actually skip this. I swear this is gonna be an hour video, and I failed. So right here, I was running away, and I couldn't do it, and I basically used sleep. And look very closely what happens when I use sleep. Right here in the top left, the outlaw looks like this. This is the outlaw debuff. So right here, I use sleep, and basically I got outlaw. So my wind wall failed because I couldn't hit them with it, but my sleep did not, and put me in the outlaw. So I go back again, and I think I actually failed a bit, and you can tell I failed a bit by seeing that nobody got hit with it because he dashed and everybody went around it. See, and I didn't get hit, and because of that, I'm able to actually get a shield at the end, which allowed me to easily go into the portal. If you're outlaw, you don't get the shield. Now let me go for the one that I actually able. Like I found a little guy who I scared the living shit out of him. He was just standing there, and I just went ahead and I was like, okay, whatever. Wind wall, and as you see it up on top left, that appeared. Right at the top left, that appeared. That's an outlaw. That's 3 minutes. Sorry. It's 3 minutes that I have to wait before I'm able to enter the portal, and that was supposed to be a defensive capability of a gatherer ore. This is a ore gathering set, and that was supposed to be a defensive capability. Now that I did that, I am 2 minute outlaw, and this is what happens. 1, I don't get the shield when I'm entering this area. 2, you'll see the outlaw pop up many times, going up, 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 up. Yeah. And the reason that is because, sorry. Okay. And the reason that is because I hit someone, I have an outlaw, and that outlaw are not able to enter back to the royal cities. So now I have to wait those 3 minutes. So which I think I skipped it. And look, gathering set. A gathering set with wind wall. This is a trap. So, and I have the little eye that they're watching me, as you see right there. So I have to wait till that goes away, and once it goes away, I am able to enter back to the city. The best way to actually enter the city is not interacting with the player at all. So as you see, some people say that when you're getting hit, you can't enter the city. This is false. As you see, I am hitting the player, which allowed me to do a test on him, and he goes into the city. In slow motion, I show them that I'm hitting him, and he's able to enter the city. So there are some abilities where I'll explain later about the bloodletter and stuff like that, and gathering set. But basically, any ability that interacts with the player, sleeps them, put them up, push them. You can crowd control them. Anything that interacts with the player gives you an outlaw in the Black Zone and puts you in combat for 20 seconds. This is also a matter of fact because if you're in the red zone and you do a dash like a lunge on the bloodletter, then you're in combat and you have to wait 20 seconds before you're able to enter that zone. God damn, I failed. Could have sworn this would have been less minute for the video. Oh, I hope I didn't fail. Gatherings, basically the duration. Okay. Entering a Black Zone portal locks you to that portal, so careful where you want to gather, because if you start in Bridgewatch, you will have to travel through a Black Zone long ways to get to another portal depending on where you want to gather. So basically, and I should review all my notes before starting this, like over and over and over until I get this memorized. So let's say I go to the perfect. I go to Alderwood, and I want to gather in Alderwood, and I want to gather wood in Alderwood, right? Wood, stone, and hide. So I go to Alderwood, and now I'm locked to the city from Mercia. This means that in Mercia, I cannot go through any other portal such as Limher, Bridgewatch, Murloc, or Third Floor, or Fort Sterling. I have to now, if I want to, for example, want to go to Murloc, I will have to go from Alderwood to Comtor to another city in Limhurst, locking myself each time, because if I die, I will return back to Carleon. So I have to lock myself to each city until I'm able to reach Murloc. So wood will be Limhurst. So let's say if I'm in Mercia for a Carleon, basically. This is Carleon, by the way, if you don't know it. There's Cumbria, Mercia, sorry, Cumbria, Mercia, and Anglia. These are the continent places. Mercia is Carleon is down here, which is the city. Now I'm locked to Mercia, so now I want to go to Limhurst because it's the other place that has wood. Now I have to travel from here, which there's a bunch of like hundreds of arch, going all the way down here, lock myself here, and then going all the way down here. If I die here, anywhere here, and I lock myself in Fort Sterling, I go back to Fort Sterling instead of Mercia because I locked myself in Fort Sterling. So now I keep going until I try and succeed to enter Limhurst, and now I'm in Limhurst, and I can just go gather around here some woods, you know, in the Limhurst area. Let's go back to where are we? 16. Yellow zone and red zone. Yellow zone and red zone. Black zone has PvP. In yellow zone, you are downed, not killed, but you lose a percentage of your stack if you are downed. Red zone and black zone equals full loot PvP, and you will lose everything once you die, except silver and gold that you have on yourself. Faction flag also has full loot PvP, and it's the only one that allows another opposite faction flagger from to kill you in a blue zone area where there is no PvP. This is the only exception to that rule. Faction flag. To be honest with you, I should show you the faction flag. If I were to go here, which is this guy, and it is on every city, and I accept to be a faction flag, you'll see here, full loot PvP rule applies to all zones. So there's a warning there. Hopefully you didn't went to the place down here or something like that to take all the warnings and stuff out of the game. So reset camera. No PvP zone in the blue zone. PvP down in all yellow zone. They look like this. The little square or diamond. Diamond from this side, square if you just tilt it. Red zone is full loot PvP, and black zone is full loot PvP. We hit that yellow zone. Let's push this all down so I can get closer to 17. Player can steal your node depending on which node it is. If it is anything but high, they can steal it. For high, they will have to flag up to steal your node. Anything killed has a protection timer unless you're flagged. Flag equals the ability to steal. So I don't need to show you pretty much that on the picture. Basically, you can gather everything. If you're gathering a fiber, somebody can just jump into it and just freaking steal it. In fact, let me show you a picture. There is a picture down here where people, I think I put the name Steel on it here. Yes, here's someone who was basically, I was in it first, and the guy just ran in there with a T5 and started taking everything away from me, and I was already there first, just a couple seconds in there, trying to get my thing. So he actually took everything else. I was able to take one out of all three of them. So, and there's a bunch of them people doing that, and especially higher T6 and T7, which are much faster than you, as you already saw me explaining about this specs and the higher tier tools. That was that one. Oh, the flag. A person that does have to be flagged, basically. If you're flagged, you can steal anyone's resource, even if they're hide, or even if there's a loot in the ground, they can just go ahead and steal it. Gathering gear revolved on one weapon majority of the time, of one offhander. These are called the Bloodletter and the Mistcaller. This is the major. It was actually started with someone named Bulldozer, and then it jumped to Captain Russia. He is the one from Old Threads who actually technically invented this, because he was the only one gathering in TA with this kind of tools. He was wearing a torch at the beginning, and I think he switched to the Mistcaller later on. This is the weapon that people are talking about. It is the the artifact dagger, Bloodletter, and this is the Mistcaller offhander, which is a horn. You can actually go right here. You will have to go through the bow, section. You have to level this up to get to T3. Then after T3, grab yourself a dagger, and then you can get to T4. Once you get to T4, you can actually get a blood letter. Buy one if you want to. The mist color will be same area, which is you're lucky, because it's the same area. It's not other area. You just have to buy a torch, basically. Buy a torch, get to T4, then get a mist color. So I'm actually going to go right ahead and there it is. I put the weapon, and what this basically does is it allows you to double dash with the W right here, dash towards the target area, and lunge stab. Now as you dash one, and then you dash two, and you're able to escape your enemies the farther you go, obviously. But the problem with this is that you need to also be very careful with the lunge. Players somehow start lunging into the zone with the E, and if you do that, you interact with a player, which now you have to wait 20 seconds before you can go through the zone. The best way to actually lunge is, if you are on top of a player, is to lunge with the W, which doesn't interact with the player. It just dashes towards the area, and then use your E when you're not around someone. That way you can actually enter a zone. However, if you are far away from a zone and you're like pretty much like down here, and you need to get to here, then it's fine. You can just dash with the E and the W, because by the time you get here, it's 20 seconds should have passed away. So this is basically the blood letter. All right, let's just jump into. Okay, mount has carrying capacity. Some mount doesn't have this, but are well equipped with armor. Other mounts have huge capacity, but are very slow. Going into the game, I actually got some mounts here, which is the Ox. They're very slow, as you see. The movement speed and the gallop speed. They have some armor resistance, and they have max load of 3,667 kilometer for an AT7 Ox. The horse, the armor horse, doesn't have any carrying capacity, as you see down here. Max load. They don't have carry capacity, but they do have armor, and they're fast as a horse, 65 and 105 gallop speed. The riding horse has carrying capacity of 233, doesn't have any armor, obviously, has a good speed, but is very unprotected, so you can definitely be dismounted much easier than an armor horse. Sometimes I like to use the armor horse in the black zone, because it allows me to, it tells me that I am wearing, for example, if I'm like this guy, my bird, it has no carrying capacity and tells me that I have literally 92%. If I use a horse, which I use it right now, and I press A, boop, I'm at 70%. Which, if someone downs me, I'll see my true 92%, which can be very dangerous if I'm at 100% already and I get dismounted. Know that you have to be either on top of the horse or inside the circle to have the effect of the carrying capacity for the horse. Once you're out of that, you're obviously at 104. Let me get my mount back. All right, next one. I'm sorry. Okay, some guild already has territory. Territory in the black zone or red zones are great for gathering. You can gather around and run into the territory that has a guard if you are getting ganked. You can drop your stuff in the chest or wait for the assailant to leave. Now, I did heard as well that some of the zones territory has resources inside of it, which allows you to gather them safely, and then run into the zone. The territory looks just like this, basically. This is a territory, it's owned by someone, and that guild can just pretty much run in here and be saved. However, when you go to the black zone, I think I found some of these ones has guards, and basically you can be gathering here some woods and stuff like that and stones very easily, and then when somebody's about to attack you, you run into the territory and bada bing bada boom, you're saved. Now you're not 100% saved if you're taunting them. If you're taunting them like someone like Oak Tree Field, he'll fuck you up. That's just going to happen, because he knows exactly how much damage he needs to take, how much damage you're going to take before he downs you, steal your loot, and runs out. So my best advice, if you actually join a like a black zone guild territory, a guild that has a black zone territory, then just run into the territory and stay there and wait for everybody, the assailants to leave. Once the assembly leaves, you can just come back out, put your stuff away, and then come back out and keep gathering. Let's see, gathering gear, amount carry capacity, some resources. There are aspects in this world of each resources. They have 500 and 500, and there are usually T6 and are very easily to level up your gathering if the guild helps you. It usually requires only 3 players with 1 healer, and then most of the time you're at like T6. Yeah, I already said that. Yeah, just noticed that. Here's the thing is, if you join I don't have a video for this, you can just type aspect, I'll be online. But if you go with 3 players, it has 500 and 500, and you have a gathering set, and basically if you just farm those 500, you're literally going to be level much faster than anyone in this game. Because it's 500 and 500, you are protected if you have someone in there with you, and you basically just 500 and 500, you basically just farm each one of them. And if you have gathering guild, you will be gathering a huge amount, which also increases your yield fame. Pork pie gives you gathering yield bonus, and that should have been obvious. Everybody should be able to know that. If I go down here, I think food. No, not that one. Food. Chapter 6. Here's a pork pie. Pork pie says 50% gathering yield, which adds up to your gear, which also adds up if you're 100% spec. If you are not using gathering gear, you should use escape gear. Now there are many escape gear in this game. The one I use, which I don't advise you to use, which is going to be on the next video, is my expensive invisibility spec, basically. So I use this. I'm not going to use it now because this is 7.1. I use this, which reduces my cooldown by 50%, and I also have invisibility potion, not this one. And what basically happens is I go ahead and I'm getting attacked. I press F. I'm invisible to the naked eye. Once it's going to come down, I use double dash, and then I keep running. If I feel like they're going to get me, I press D, which resets my chest, and I can press F again. Again, I am invisible. You'll see it on top here. And then once I get far away, I press W and press F, and basically during that time I'm invisible, but my mana goes down. Now I can press F to cancel the channel, but once I do that, whoop, I'm able to have like a couple mana, and then I press W and my cloak gives me all my mana back, which allows me to mount as I'm far away, and then after that I pretty much just go back to the portal if you're in Black Zone or other places. Just run away basically. And as I finish, again, if I get dismounted, I'll be pretty close to doing again double dash, and I'll be very close to getting all my ability cooldowns. If I don't have them on, I'll have at least an invisibility potion coming back up. Can you stop? Yep. Can't see me. Alright. The other one, which I think I need to take everything off me, like all my it's where a plate gears, basically all plate, with soldier armor, basically to run faster. Plate chest, I don't know which one, but just basically plate chest and the plate helm or something that gives you more defensive. And basically you just wear this adept undead cape, right? So basically it says activate when you take damage and your health is below 25%. Turn invisible for 6 seconds, and while you do this you can activate abilities. So what I'll do is, for this, I'll wear this because it's not gonna give me so much, and I'll have my speed for that so you can see it. And then I'll wear the cloak, and then I'll just find me someone to kick my ass. Oh, there's someone. So I'm gonna hit this guy right here. Gotta dodge that AoE though, because that actually can one-shot me, because I wear no armor. So just gonna keep letting him hit me until I am 25% lower. Nope. Could kill me. So now I'm invisible, double dash, use my sprint, very fast, and then you run away. Usually players use Wanderlust before this happens, and then they just, fly away. This is the reason why you do wear a plate and stuff like that. You want to increase your HP, so that way the marker for the 25% will be much higher than what I had when I was naked, and at the same time, a bloodletter, you pretty much will have a good chance of that bloodletter is not going to be able to execute you. Last one. I know there's probably a couple more that I'm missing, but this is going to be the last one. Overburden. You're overburdened when you have past 100 weight. At 123 to 140, you usually are like yellow and you're slow. And when you reach 150, I think it's red, and basically you can hardly move. Like you move like really slowly. This is bad news because Pika can just go ahead and kill you. People in the yellow zone can grief you and down you. Then you lose your stacks. Now here's the thing, guys. If that happens, you need to start losing some of the stacks. You need to drop something. If in the black zone, in the next video, at the end, I freaked out because I almost had that. I had 143. I forgot to use an armor horse at my end, on my end of the video. So, but I was able to manage and survive with the set that I have. Let me actually wear this. Let's actually put all this back in here and store this amount. So you can see I'm able to normally walk. Add some weight in there, and as you see, I'm at 113%, so I'm much slower. And then when I have, you see that? That's what kills you. You can't be walking like that and trying to escape. You're just not going to be able to. Alright, so that should be the end of the video for things of gathering that you should know. And I'm actually going to go right now and quit the video. Actually, should I save this? I probably should. Quit the video because I really want to time and see if I got it to 20 minutes or maybe like 30 minutes. I'm going to have an hour. I know for a fact I'm going to have an hour.